Good morning. How is everyone this morning? That beautiful music was composed by Christy Andrews. Yeah. Welcome to Tucson New Thought. What is this? This is our spiritual community, and that's what really this is all about. You know, I get asked a lot, what is the most important value that you have in having developed a ministry here in Tucson? And I say it's community. It's developing spiritual community. It's knowing that we get to come together as a community and celebrate the inherent good in the world. And that's what we're here to do. So what do you say we do that? Okay. Yeah, so we do join together as a spiritual community every week to know one thing and one thing only, and that is the one thing that we are here to know is that there is love at the core of each and every one of our hearts, that love is the infinite creative source for all that is, everything unfolding, everything that exists is the result of love. That's what I call it. Some people call it God, some people call it infinite spirit, some people call it universal mind, but I like to call it love because I recognize it as such. So that is what we are here to do. We are here to, with a vision of creating a world that works for everyone. We do this by providing practical tools for personal transformation and awakening humanity to its spiritual magnificence. And here is what I know about each and every one of you. You are magnificent. You are absolutely magnificent. And so I know that about you because it is the inherent truth for each and every one of us. So let's all of us exclaim for ourselves, I am magnificent. I am magnificent. Yes. Doesn't that feel good? I think it feels good. I don't know about you, but I think it feels great.
It feels great.
To make that claim. Yes. Connection is why we're here, not just here at Tucson New Thought, but here in this world. So I would love for us to just take a moment to look around and make some eye contact and a connection with the other people in the room and just quietly know the magnificence of everyone that is here present. And also I want to say hello and acknowledge everyone who is present with us online and let you know that I see you and I know you are magnificent. Denise, would you like to light the candles? Sure. You can do it however you choose to do it. Yeah. The funny thing, so the first time we put these shelves up here, the first person to do it lit them from the right and went to the left. And then somebody asked me about that. I said, why did we do it that way? And I said, well, that was just the way they did it. And I think most people go from the left to the right because that's the way in this country we read, right? But we can do it however we choose. You could start in the middle. You could light candles in random order. You know why?
Keep giving me ideas.
Because you are a unique individualization of an infinite divine power and you get to make a decision. So we ceremonially honor all religious paths and all faith traditions through this ceremony that we call lighting the flames of faith. And what we are understanding is that with each candle that we light in honor of a particular faith tradition, we are understanding that all of them are rooted in the same thing, and that thing is love. So we light a candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light a candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light a candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light a candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light a candle for all forms of Buddhism. Oh, there we are. For all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. Now we light a candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light a candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the divine will of love as the highest calling. We light a candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light a candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We light a candle for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of Spirit in their lives, and for the space that we are holding for them, and for all faith traditions unnamed in this ceremony. This final candle we light is a candle to represent the healing of any circumstance that requires divinity to be revealed. For that's the true nature of healing, the revelation of the divine in every circumstance. This is your candle for whatever is in your mind and in your heart that requires the light. Thank you. And then the candle to your left is our peace candle, which we keep illuminated with the understanding that as it is consistently illuminated, it is a reflection of the illumination of peace in our hearts, and that's where peace begins. And so let's read together these words of James Dillett Freeman. Truly, the light of peace surrounds us, the love of peace enfolds us, the power of peace protects us, and the presence of peace watches over us. Wherever we are, peace is. So I'm going to invite you to relax right where you are. We're going to utilize this month's affirmation to take us into a time of centering. So I'm going to read the affirmation, and it's on the screen if you would like a reference to it. The affirmation this month is, I am a magnificent blank page of infinite possibility. I am a magnificent blank page of infinite possibility. And so now what I invite you to do is simply allow, taking just a few moments to relax into this time and this place, just allowing and reflecting and understanding, then knowing that this room right here, right now, is immersed in love. As we settle our focus now to the easy rhythm of our breath, the easeful in and out, recognizing there's nothing we need to do to make it happen. It simply is happening. With each breath, we breathe in love, and we breathe out love, and we keep love in circulation. And I begin to understand in the here and now that love is filling this room and expands beyond these physical walls. And the love we have to share moves out into the city, into the state, the country, and it envelops the entire world. This love that envelops the entire world is rooted right here, right now, in the hearts of each and every one of us. And so let us allow that for just a few moments of silence. I invite you to gently now, using your inner voice, to hear these words as your own. I am here. I am fully present. I am open to a positive, inspiring experience for myself and for this entire community. And when it's comfortable, you can open your eyes. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Take charge of what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Take charge of what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer. It's different this week. Given that this month, the theme for the month is back to basics, I'm limiting the pages from which you may choose. So if you would please provide for me a number between 25 and 70.
58.
58. There are 3 paragraphs on this page. Which one shall I reference? One? Oh, good. This actually goes very much in line with what I just sang, which is our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. That's the truth. So the first full paragraph on this page reads, "A treatment is a spiritual entity in the mental world and is equipped with power and volition. As much power and volition as there is faith in it, given to it by the mind of the one using it, and operating through the law, it knows exactly how to work and what methods to use and just how to use them." That is legitimately the longest sentence ever. That was one sentence. Yeah. A treatment, so let's start with this. A treatment is a spiritual entity in the mental world. Fundamental to this entire teaching is really God is all there is. Love is all there is. This infinite creative power is all there is. There is nothing else that exists, nothing. And if we understand this, that's why we can claim, I am God, I am love, I am light, I am the infinite creative nature of the universe expressing as me. Are you comfortable with claiming that?
Sure.
Yeah, yes, I am. Some people are not. Some people are not, and that's okay. It's a journey, right? I was not always comfortable with it. In fact, I pushed back so hard. The first time that my mentor in ministry got up on a Sunday and said, "I am God," I was like, what? And I pushed back because what I didn't hear is, and so are you. And so it felt like a disconnect to me. I thought, well, that's rather bold. And I understand his point of view, that he was saying, I am that which is. We must be able to step up and claim this for ourselves. I am God, and so are you. Can you claim for yourself, I am God? I'm using the G word a lot today, because that's part of going back to basics. Because we do utilize God, the word God. A lot of New Thought centers, a lot of religious science ministers, tailor it and curb it and try to say, oh, but we're going to use all the other synonyms that are available. Emerson specifically says, love is a synonym for God, right? Yes, Denise.
It'd be nice to change our relationship with the word.
Absolutely. And that's the whole point of view. Let us begin to get comfortable with God with the understanding of what God is. Because we've all come to it, so many of us come to it with this notion of God is something out there to be feared because it is judgmental and it is going to send us to HE double hockey sticks, right? If we don't do the right thing or act in the right way. Well, that's just simply not true. Sorry. It's just not true. It's just not true. Because everything, first and foremost, is rooted in a state of mind. So heaven and hell are states of mind. We choose to live heaven and hell in this exact moment. This is it, folks. This is the only moment. So, going to the quote. I'm getting there, I promise. A treatment is a spiritual entity in the mental world and is equipped with power and volition. So first of all, there's some jargon in there. Does everyone here know what a treatment is? No. I mean, some people do, but some people don't. So treatment is the specific use of mind. And we formalize what we call spiritual mind treatment in this philosophy. It's just a phrase that we use to describe affirmative prayer. And we teach affirmative prayer in a specific way within this philosophy. So a treatment is simply using our mind in whatever way to create, to affect cause, and from cause comes every effect. So when we say a treatment is a spiritual entity in the mental world, the only thing we are ever working with in this philosophy is that which is invisible and unseen. We're only ever working with cause. And that can be hard for people too, because they say, I see all the effects in my life and I want to address the effects in my life. The only way to ever address the effects in our life is to root ourselves back into cause. And that's what treatment is meant to do. It is a spiritual entity in a mental world. Our work is entirely in consciousness. It is entirely mental. It is entirely utilizing our mind to address those thoughts, those beliefs, and feelings that are at our core. Those things are the things that are creating. All of it. Our thoughts, our beliefs, and our feelings are creating the construct of our lives. And how we relate to the circumstances all around us is colored by our thoughts, our beliefs, and our feelings. So the quality of our life is rooted in the mental use. Is rooted in, I was thinking that's not a really good sentence. It is rooted in our mental use. The quality of our life is rooted in our mental use. So the only thing we're ever addressing is our thoughts, beliefs, and feelings. Everything else takes care of itself. Do you have faith that that's the truth? Or are you going to try and manipulate the stuff out there? Right? Because we oftentimes try to manipulate the stuff out there. And the truth is, we can do that, but the manipulation of circumstances is not lasting. So if we are looking for lasting change in our lives, we start with mind. A treatment is a spiritual entity in the mental world and is equipped with power and volition. Do you believe that your thoughts have power? Good. Because they do. They do. They are ultimately creating. Ceaselessly they are creating. As much power and volition as there is faith in it, given to it by the mind of the one using it. So again, if we're going back to basics, in 1927, Ernest Holmes founded the Institute for Religious Science. Note that he did not found the Church of Religious Science. He founded the Institute for Religious Science because his belief was he did not want to start a religion. He wanted to create a corollary to anyone's faith tradition that could go in alignment and could be utilized by anyone, irrespective of their religious beliefs. So the Institute for Religious Science ultimately was about educating people into a particular way of thinking and believing, a practice that could be utilized in their lives for good. And he said, this is what the mystics of the ages have taught. Jesus taught it. Jesus said, it is done unto you as you believe. It is done unto you as you believe. And so what is the thing that we need to address if we want to change our life? We need to change our beliefs. And so we find this in faith traditions all over. So he starts the Institute for Religious Science, and that ultimately unfolds itself and becomes the Church of Religious Science. And that then becomes the Centers for Spiritual Living. And then there are these little spiritual centers, or some big spiritual centers, all over mostly North America, but they are all over the world now. People who are rooted in this consciousness and saying, I want to create a religious construct around this. And then I have a challenge with that because I was not brought up a religious person. It was not my thing. So I thought, well, I want to do this, but I also want to fundamentally say, we are a teaching philosophy. Our philosophy is about teaching. And we are not here to teach anyone what to think. And that's what I think is the essential difference between a religion and a philosophy. Is a philosophy is something that you can look at and you can question and you can say, I choose to accept or not accept this. A religion is saying, this is what you must think and believe. Religious science teaches a method of thinking, how to think. Because to learn how to think is to learn how to live. Not to learn what to think is to learn how to live. So the greatest thing anyone can ever do, oh gosh, I'm opening up a big can of worms here. But it's what I'm here to do, because I'm also here to be challenged in my own beliefs. The greatest thing that any of us can ever do is to question what we're hearing. I know, Logan's back there. Logan's ready. They're like, I'll
save it for a class.
Thank you. But on that note, I was the biggest thorn in the side of my mentor because every time there would seem to be a definite statement made, I would say, but really? Is that really the truth? Is that really what it's all about? But what ends up happening is as we ask the questions, it is not from someone else that we must find the answers, it's finding them within ourselves to determine what is true for us. And I believe that the fundamental principles of religious science, this philosophy, that God is all there is, and that's who and what each and every one of us is. That's number one. And number two, the universe operates on a law of cause and effect. That's it. That's all we teach. And then we teach tools to engage the law of cause and effect. I feel like Mrs. Potts. Do you know the reference to Beauty and the Beast? I'm like... A treatment is a spiritual entity in the mental world. Operating through the law, it knows exactly how to work and what methods to use and just how to use them. It's also a great lesson for each and every one of us that when we utilize our mind for a specific purpose, it is important that we step back and trust in the flow of the spiritual entity to do its work in mind, in the universal mind, to show up as the effects of our lives. That's what I'm really interested in. So I am going to ask, is there a question from anyone? Or are you so thoroughly confused that you're going to wait till class? Well, that's good. I guess that's it. Class dismissed. I'm just looking to see if there's anything else in this paragraph that I think should be addressed. One thing he has in italics here is, we do not put power into this word, but we do let the power of the law flow through it. And the one who most completely believes in this power will produce the best results. This is the law of cause and effect. So, your belief sets the limit to a demonstration, to a principle that is ultimately unlimited. The principle is unlimited, but your belief is the thing that limits it. And so, if I'm going to encourage anything today, it's to step forth into this week looking at really starting to fundamentally look at what are all the beliefs in my life. What are the core beliefs? What are the things that I believe to be so true that it's an unshakable faith within me? And then maybe shake it up a little bit and say, why do I believe it? Is this serving me in the most productive way? And if it's not, you get to change it because you have the power of choice. And that choice activates the law of cause and effect and changes your entire life. And that, to me, is the basic. That's getting back to basics here today. That's my message. Namaste. Shall we sing this song, Christy? Easy lyrics. Easy lyrics. Oh, okay. Easy lyrics. And I invite you to take whatever has sparked you today and just sit with that as we find the song. There it is. So allowing yourself to just relax right where you are, settling in and letting what needs to be present be present. God is, I am, right here, right now, right here, right now. God is, I am. God is, I am, right here, right now, right here, right now. God is, I am. God is, I am, right here, right now, right here, right now. God is, I am. It's so funny, it's like the 9 a.m. experience is meant to be mellow, but I think we're especially mellow today, and it feels really yummy. Mellow yellow. Well, Tucson New Thought is a community that is supported through your generosity, through your contributions. And whether you call it an investment, a gift, a contribution, a tithe, it doesn't matter. It's the energy of love that is in form and in motion and moving through this time and this place to do great work in this world. That is what I believe. There are many options for giving: check, cash. We can take cards, and if you're online, you can click the donate link there. I honor your commitment to the vision and the mission of Tucson New Thought, and I am so grateful for all that you share, and I'm so grateful for your presence here. Let's read together as you hold whatever it is you're offering the center today in your hand, recognizing the energy that it is. Let's read together the divine givingness statement. And it is this: divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. It is evidence of my conviction that spirit is the source and substance of my supply. I joyously contribute to the vision of my spiritual center, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And we're going to do a song here. It's different. I'm changing it all up in 2020. I trust that you can handle passing that around. So I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I'm so grateful, grateful, grateful. I am so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful for all that we have. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We're so grateful, 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 grateful. We are so blessed. And that's the truth. If you would please, let's just take this moment of reflection. Yes, yes, yes. And recognize and know that this is an infinite flow that has presented itself right here and right now. And I am in deep gratitude for all that has been collected here. And I know that it is moving through this time in this place with its perfect work intended by the leadership of this center. And I know that the leadership of this center works in deep integrity to create a world that works for everyone. And that is our purpose here. And so I simply allow and with great gratitude accept and trust and know and live in the flow. I know this to be, and I let it be so, as together we say, and so it is. Thank you very much. All right, something new. Here we go. Unmute.
Thought announcements for January 5th, 2020. Join us this Wednesday for a special night of meditation. Our own Christy Andrews will be leading the evening using crystal singing bowls and toning to take us on a deeper dive. Join us Wednesday at 6 p.m. Coming up on January 17th at 6:30, it's another spiritual cinema night. We will be screening the movie What is New Thought and hosting a discussion following. It's sure to spark your imagination and deepen your understanding of the philosophy. Mark your calendars for our annual community meeting following our 10:30 gathering on January 26th. Join us to learn about the business of spirit as Tucson New Thought, elect members to open leadership council terms, see where we have come from and where we are headed as a spiritual community. To be able to vote on issues at the annual community meeting, you will need to be a registered member of Tucson New Thought. If this is the right place for you at this point of your spiritual experience, please fill out a membership form and give it to Reverend Jonathan or one of the members of the Leadership Council. Finally, we are raising funds specifically directed to the move of Tucson New Thought. The first $2,500 we raise will be matched by a generous contributor. If you would like to make a contribution to the fund today, please place the amount in an envelope and write MOVE on it. Oh, and just a reminder that Tucson New Thought is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and your donations are tax deductible. For more information, check out our website at TucsonNewThought.org and connect with us on Facebook and Instagram at Tucson New Thought. Thanks for being here and sharing your magnificence with us.
So now the question may be, why are we doing these as video announcements now? First of all, it just gets them through, like we get through them much more quickly. It won't always be my voice. I actually am looking for somebody so it can be a different voice because it sounds weird for me to like have it be, I'm standing here and there's my voice. But what I will tell you is that announcements are the hardest thing to do in these communities, and nobody has ever figured it out. But this is we went to doing video announcements at my last spiritual center, and it just it allowed everybody to take a breath, really hear what's going on, and and it's also within 2 minutes, so you don't get somebody up here who's just yammering on for 15 minutes, right? So that's why I'm choosing to do it in this particular fashion from now on, and it may be my voice for a while until I find somebody.
Your accent.
I could,
You could do
yes.
It in Canadian.
Well, I already speak in a Canadian accent mostly.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I'm very proud of you.
I'm sorry?
Barely Canadian.
It was very barely Canadian.
It was very I said sorry instead of sorry. Well, I am grateful. That's You know what I love about the 9 a.m. is that we just it's I could just sit down and be like we're in my living room. Well, I do want to say thank you to Aiden for providing our technical support today. Always a pleasure to have him working on, making sure that all the technical aspects are running without a hitch, and that we are going out to the internet, going out to the amazing world of the online community. I want to say thank you to Marvis, our greeter today. Yes, you have a question.
I saw in the bulletin there's a mention of SOM classes. What does SOM stand for?
Science of Mind is what SOM stands for. The book is called The Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. So SOM stands for Science of Mind, and we often abbreviate to just say SOM to save space. I didn't put it in the announcements, but it is my intention. I'll tell you why I didn't put it in the announcements. It is my intention to start class on Wednesday, January 22nd. The thing that we are unsure of is whether we will be in this space or in that space, and we might be in the middle of moving at that point. So there might be a delay in the start of class, but I am going to start an 8-week class soon that is Foundations of New Thought. It's essentially Science of Mind 101. We're going to start with the beginning of the book, and we're going to really go back to basics. It's an 8-week class, and if you are interested in becoming a licensed practitioner, this would be a required class that would be where everyone starts. And so if that is of interest to you, you can talk to me about that, and we can actually go down that path of education. Because education, remember, it was the Institute for Religious Science. Education is important to the work that we do here. So thank you for that, Marvis. Thank you for your service today as a greeter. I want to say thank you to Christy, who I threw a lot of stuff at her in the last 24 hours, and she has beautifully moved through it and made it a magnificent musical experience for all of us. So thank you so much for that. I am deeply grateful to you. Yeah. Oh, and thank you. Just thank you for being here, for showing up, being part of this community, and letting your light shine. As we finish the day, we're going to do so with this beautiful Kundalini blessing set to music. So I invite you to just be right where you are. May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on, guide your long-time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on, guide your way on. Satnam. Satnam. Make it a magnificent week, everyone. Namaste.